A man cried alone in the park yesterday. What he knows about your sister and the 3 women who ruined her life is more dangerous than you think. Archangel Michael says, the wind carried his tears like a message across the stillness of the trees. He sat alone, under a crumbling bench by the pond, with eyes red and heart trembling from a truth too heavy to speak aloud. What he saw, what he knows, what he carries inside his soul, connects directly to your sister, and the 3 women whose hands have secretly torn her life apart. He wasn't supposed to witness that night. But destiny put him in the park at the exact moment when the 3 shadows slipped behind your sister's world. They didn't know he was watching, and now his silence is a scream waiting to burst open. And yesterday, it did. He broke down because he could no longer bear the weight of what he saw. Type Amen to get blessing 333. His hands shook when he tried to light a cigarette, the flame flickering like the truth he feared would burn everything down. He whispered your sister's name 3 times as if hoping it would lift her pain into the sky. But her name didn't reach heaven, it hung heavy between the trees, echoing with betrayal. The man in the park was not just a stranger, he once loved someone tied to this tragedy. What happened in that park months ago was not an accident, it was a setup. Your sister was lured there under the guise of help, but instead, she faced her executioners. The 3 women, cloaked in fake smiles and old secrets, dragged her heart through the dirt. And the man cried not just for what he saw, but for the role he unknowingly played in getting her there. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Archangel Michael says, what you need to know now cannot wait. One of the women carries something that belongs to your sister, a piece of identity, a personal document, stolen that day. She promised to protect your sister but instead sold her loyalty for gain. That paper is still moving, hidden in a locked purse, shown only in dark meetings. The second woman is worse, she planted a lie that destroyed your sister's credibility. She convinced someone powerful that your sister was involved in an illegal act. She forged messages and presented fake evidence to turn family against her. This is why your sister's name is whispered in rooms that used to welcome her with love. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The 3rd woman, the most dangerous of all, smiles in your presence like nothing happened. She walks freely in public, attends events, and speaks kindly of your family. But in her home, hidden in a wooden drawer beneath candles, is a flash drive. On that flash drive is a video that shows your sister in the park, not knowing she was being recorded. That video was meant to blackmail, but it was never released, yet. They're holding it like a trap, waiting for the right moment to destroy her completely. What they didn't realize is that the man in the park filmed them too. And now he's being hunted for the evidence he's hiding. Type Amen to get blessing 222. He never meant to get involved, he simply loved the quiet of the trees. But now his heart is wrapped in the chains of this conspiracy. He's being watched, followed by a silver car that circles the block every night. He's changed his phone twice and no longer sleeps at his apartment. He wrote a letter to your sister last week but tore it before it reached the mailbox. He fears that revealing himself might put both of you in danger. Still, he knows if he doesn't speak soon, the damage will be irreversible. So he cried in the park, because he knows the clock is ticking. Type Amen to get blessing 444. The trees remember the day it all changed. Leaves fell like warnings from above, and the sky turned heavy with unspoken grief. The bench your sister sat on was marked, someone etched her initials beside a coded symbol. That symbol has appeared again, on a wall near your building, drawn in red chalk. Comment if you've seen markings lately. That is not coincidence. They're signaling each other with colors, symbols, and time stamps. Your sister's face is circled in a photo that was printed and pinned to a corkboard inside a cafe's back room. The cafe is owned by a man connected to the second woman. He provides them with space to meet. Every Thursday at 4 p.m., they sit in the back booth and exchange files. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The man who cried is trying to warn you now, even if it breaks him. He left a folded piece of paper in a book at the library titled Fallen Stars. That note contains part of the story, enough for someone brave to follow. If it's still there, you need to read it, copy it, and hide it in 3 different places. Archangel Michael says, these women underestimated the power of truth. They believed your silence meant victory, but the energy around you is shifting. Your sister is still carrying a wound that won't heal because it's tied to betrayal. And one of those 3 women was once considered her best friend. Type Amen to get blessing 666. This is not the time to ignore your instincts. One of them recently visited your house and left behind something small, a hairpin, a coin, a cent. That wasn't by accident, it was a trace, a symbolic message that she still has access. You need to clear the energy of your space, starting with the room where your sister last cried. Your sister hasn't told you everything, not because she doesn't trust you, but because she's protecting you. She thinks if you knew it all, they'd come for you next. But the man in the park disagrees. He believes you're stronger than they think. He believes you are the key to ending this circle of cruelty. Type Amen to get blessing 888. He's writing again, this time from a hotel under a different name. He's preparing to drop a sealed envelope into a church donation box. Inside will be 3 names, 3 dates, and 1 bloodied scarf that your sister lost. He hopes you find it before the women do. He's asking for protection now, not just for himself, but for your sister and for you. There's a file he burned halfway through because the truth inside was too dark. But the ashes revealed numbers, codes, something encrypted. It matches a series found on the side of a bank slip that one of the women dropped. Type Amen to get blessing 111. This goes deeper than anyone imagined. It's about land, inheritance, and power. Your sister blocked a financial move that would have made one of the women rich. So they targeted her, slowly, silently, until her voice was dismissed. Now the woman with the most to lose is becoming the most desperate. She's scheduled to fly out of the country soon, but she won't leave without finishing what she started. The man in the park knows her travel plans, and he's sending them to someone close to you. If you receive a strange message with flight information, don't delete it. That will be your window to act, to intercept, to protect your sister's name. Type Amen to get blessing 123. The woman who laughed at your sister now lives with fear disguised as confidence. She's checking her mirrors twice, looking over her shoulder, afraid the man might speak. Because if he does, everything unravels. She will be seen for who she truly is. A document your sister signed under stress is now being used against her. But it was altered, her signature was forged in 1 line. And that small detail will be the proof needed to stop the legal storm ahead. It's being stored in a glass frame inside a lawyer's office. The lawyer was paid off. Type Amen to get blessing 999. But Archangel Michael says divine eyes are now watching. What was hidden will start to surface without force. Truth always cuts through silence. The man in the park is not alone anymore. Other witnesses are awakening. 3 different people have come forward anonymously with pieces of the same story. Each one holds a puzzle piece, a photo, a receipt, a text message. They don't know each other, but their evidence matches. Together, they are forming a timeline that leads back to that cursed day in the park. Type Amen to get blessing 101. Your sister deserves justice. And the man who cried? He's more than just a stranger. He once held a promise to protect her, but guilt has tied his throat for too long. Now, he's chosen truth over fear. The 3 women think their laughter is still powerful. But laughter built on deceit is fragile. The moment their secrets touch the light, the illusion will shatter. One of them already senses it, that's why she hasn't been sleeping. Type Amen to get blessing 202. She's been waking up at 3:33 a.m., haunted by shadows she can't explain. Because deep down, she knows she crossed a line that won't be forgiven. The others are preparing to abandon her if things fall apart. It's only a matter of time before betrayal eats itself from the inside. If you hear about a fire, a car crash, or an unexpected disappearance, know it may not be random. Someone is trying to erase the evidence. Someone is erasing digital records, wiping data, and changing names. But what is written in spirit cannot be deleted. Type Amen to get blessing 303. You have a choice now, to act or to remain silent. To follow the clues or to walk past them. But know this, the man who cried yesterday cried for you, too. Because he sees the same light in you that your sister once carried. He believes you're the only one who can finish what was started. He believes the pain that fell upon your sister won't pass to you if you rise now. So take this moment seriously. You are being watched, by both darkness and divine protection. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Type Amen to get blessing 414. The air around him thickened yesterday when he stood from the bench. He clutched the side of a rusted lamp post as his body trembled from the memory that refused to die. The weight of keeping your sister's truth buried was poisoning him slowly, day by day. He stepped away from the pond where ducks swam without knowing the sorrow that poured into those waters. His shoes were muddy, his clothes damp, but what really stuck to him was regret. He had the power to speak earlier but he hesitated, and now he prays it's not too late. He is preparing to do something tonight that could finally turn everything around. Type Amen to get blessing 717. He plans to mail a black envelope, unmarked, no return address, with documents no one was supposed to see. Inside are copies of transcripts from a phone tapped illegally by one of the 3 women. Those tapes expose not just conversations, but intentions, threats, and twisted plans against your sister. The woman who made the call now works in a medical office where her lies are protected by silence. There's a tape where your sister's name is spoken in anger, followed by a threat disguised as a warning. That voice on the tape is shaking, because even in power, evil trembles when exposed. That tape has been converted into a USB and is now hidden in a coffee jar in an abandoned trailer. He chose that place because no one would look where the forgotten go. Type Amen to get blessing 909. Your sister has been marked spiritually, by jealousy, resentment, and betrayal disguised as love. One of the three women lit a candle in her name and used your sister's photo in a strange midnight ritual. This wasn't a prayer, it was an intention to bind, to control, to diminish her voice. But what she didn't realize is your sister is divinely protected. Archangel Michael says the energy is reversing. The things that were meant to break your sister will now crumble in the hands of her enemies. The lies, the fake friendships, the whispered rumors, they are all collapsing under their own weight. And the man in the park is witnessing the shift with his own eyes. Type Amen to get blessing 606. He saw one of the women arguing with someone in the same park just 2 nights ago. Her voice cracked, her hands moved wildly, she was losing control. She shouted your sister's name like a curse, but the man felt it like a call for justice. She knows she's being watched now, not by him, but by consequences. Another woman, the one with access to legal records, recently tried to erase a date connected to your sister's name. She visited a records office and altered a file, but the paper was scanned earlier by an honest worker. That worker has since quit the job and is preparing to speak, if given protection. They fear retaliation, because one of the three women is connected to someone in law enforcement. Type Amen to get blessing 818. This is why the man is afraid. Not just for himself, but for everyone who dares to tell the truth. He has seen cars following him, people asking strange questions about his past, and doors opening on their own at night. He keeps a journal now, writing everything he knows in case he disappears. One of the journal pages is missing. He suspects it was stolen while he slept in a train station last month. That page held details about a bank transaction that links one of the women to a sudden deposit. That money came right after the incident in the park. And it matches the amount your sister once told someone went missing from her account. Type Amen to get blessing 212. Your sister is not crazy, she was gaslit, manipulated, and made to doubt her own reality. She told people what was happening, but they dismissed her, because lies were louder. Now, as truth starts rising, those who ignored her are beginning to regret their silence. She is beginning to remember the details they tried to erase from her mind. She remembers the woman who hugged her just before the park visit. That woman whispered something strange in her ear, something that made her freeze inside. It wasn't love. It was a warning. And that whisper has returned in her dreams like a haunting echo. Type Amen to get blessing 121. The man in the park has decided, he will not run anymore. He's setting up a camera in the same place he cried yesterday. He plans to record a confession, in his own voice, with every detail laid out. And he's asked someone to upload it if anything happens to him. His eyes are heavy with pain, but they carry hope. Hope that someone will believe him. Hope that your sister will be free of the curse placed on her by envy. Hope that this message, once opened, will light the fire that ends this cycle. Type Amen to get blessing 313. He wants you to know something personal. He knew your sister when she was younger, before all of this. She once gave him a drawing in the park when she was a child. He still has it, folded, worn, but sacred. That's why he couldn't stay quiet. Because in his heart, he always felt she was meant for more. And seeing her name dragged through lies broke something inside him. He hopes she forgives him for not speaking sooner. Type Amen to get blessing 414. One of the three women is now losing her influence. People are starting to see through her charm. She's being questioned about money, about missing items, about strange behavior. The world is catching up to her lies. Another one is sick, physically ill. Doctors can't explain it, but she's deteriorating. And the man believes it's the spiritual weight of her choices crushing her. She sees your sister's face in reflections and wakes up screaming. Type Amen to get blessing 505. This is the point where everything changes. The man has passed the information to one more person, a stranger who owes him a favor. If the stranger knocks on your door with a box marked "Return to Sender," open it. Inside will be the map of truth. Your sister is stronger than she knows. But even strength needs support. You were chosen to read this, to act, to protect, to reveal. Because your voice will finish the work the man in the park started. Type Amen to get blessing 616. Let this message be your fire, your clarity, your beginning. There's nothing accidental about the tears that fell in that park. They were the final drops before the flood of revelation. And now, the truth is washing everything clean. Be ready. Because within 48 hours, someone will say something small, innocent, but it will be your clue. Listen closely. And remember, Archangel Michael stands with those who stand for justice. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Type Amen to get blessing 727. The tears he cried yesterday were not the beginning of his grief, they were the final sign that he can no longer carry this story alone. As he wiped his face with the sleeve of his jacket, he stared across the empty park, watching shadows stretch longer than they should. He knew that what was coming could no longer be stopped, and it would begin with a name being whispered where it was once silenced. Someone very close to you will soon mention that name. They will say it like it slipped, like it wasn't meant to leave their mouth. But that name is the key to everything your sister has suffered through in silence. And the man who cried? He'll be the one who makes sure you don't miss the meaning of that moment. Type Amen to get blessing 838. One of the three women is breaking, her nerves are unraveling. She recently called a number she shouldn't have, one that's now being monitored by someone who has your back. Her call lasted only 2 minutes, but in that time, she confessed to hiding something in a locker. That locker is inside a gym that's closed for renovation, but the keys are in her purse. The man in the park doesn't want to break into it. He wants you to receive the key, safely and anonymously, through someone you trust. A woman in a red jacket will deliver a package. Don't throw it away. Inside will be a folded piece of cloth with the key sewn into the corner. Type Amen to get blessing 929. Your sister once tried to warn someone, but that person didn't believe her. That person is now coming forward. They are ready to admit their mistake, to reveal that they were part of the silencing. But only if they know they won't be harmed. Archangel Michael says your sister's heart is still kind despite the torment she's faced. She would forgive the one who helped destroy her if it meant ending the poison for good. This is why she's been quiet, because she hoped someone else would make it right. But the man in the park knows now, it has to be you who finishes what was started. Type Amen to get blessing 323. The bench where he sat yesterday has a message etched beneath it. It was left by your sister, years ago, when she still believed things could be fixed. She carved her initials next to a phrase in another language. It translates to, "One day the sky will tell my story." That sky is speaking now. And the man, trembling and exhausted, is listening. He watched birds fly over the same tree they met under, and he took it as a sign. He believes nature is shifting in your sister's favor. Type Amen to get blessing 737. One of the 3 women recently attended a silent gathering. She left something behind, a notebook with dates and times. It was found by a worker who thought it was garbage but opened it before discarding it. What he saw inside shook him, and now he's trying to get the notebook to someone who can protect it. Inside, there are pages that mention your sister's name repeatedly. One page says, "Elimination plan rescheduled, watch for signs." It also mentions a photo that cannot be leaked. That photo is stored on an old phone kept in a drawer beneath perfume bottles. Type Amen to get blessing 414. The photo proves your sister was being followed even before the park meeting. A stranger in a brown coat took it while she walked near a bookstore. She sensed something that day, looked over her shoulder, but was told she was imagining it. She wasn't. That camera had a name written on the lens cap, the same name etched in your father's old journal. Your father once suspected one of these women but had no idea how deep the betrayal went. He left a note years ago that read, "Beware the one who smells like roses, but speaks with a serpent's tongue." The man in the park now believes that note was meant for your sister. But it was hidden, locked in a drawer she never found, until now. Type Amen to get blessing 515. Your sister is stronger than ever, though the world doesn't see it yet. She's learning how to decode the patterns, how to trace the energy left behind by betrayal. She's started journaling again, writing down every moment, every whisper, every faint clue. And her words are leading her back to that park. Archangel Michael says the land remembers. That spot where she was broken will be the place where truth is revealed. A white flower will grow near the bench before the end of the month. And when it does, someone will sit there and confess. Type Amen to get blessing 626. That person will not be one of the 3 women, but someone tied to them through blood. They've carried guilt for years but were warned to stay silent. They now believe staying silent is more dangerous than speaking. And their words will crack open the timeline of destruction. The man in the park is preparing a second package. This one contains a necklace once worn by your sister, snatched and hidden by the 3rd woman. It was found in a box of old things donated to a shop, returned by accident. The necklace has an engraving that only you and your sister know about. Type Amen to get blessing 191. This will be your proof. Not just that the betrayal happened, but that your sister was never alone. The universe watched, waited, and aligned the moment to bring this to your hands. The necklace is more than metal, it's a symbol of return, of restoration, of righteous power. The women are unraveling. They've begun turning on each other in quiet arguments and coded texts. One of them is now speaking to someone she swore never to contact again. Because she knows the end is coming. Type Amen to get blessing 838. The man in the park has placed a call to an investigator who works in secret. This person has a background in recovery, especially of hidden truths. They've taken on your sister's case not because they were paid, but because they believe. And they know this message will find its way to the right person, you. You are being prepared. Everything you felt, every strange dream, every chill when a name was mentioned, has been divine alert. You are the final wall between justice and collapse. But you don't stand alone. Type Amen to get blessing 404. Angels are walking near you now. They're whispering courage into your spirit, even when you sleep. They are guiding you to notice things others miss, the paper out of place, the voice that trembles, the eyes that avoid yours. And the man in the park is praying for your strength every night. He's tired, but he's still here. He believes that before this season ends, your sister's name will be restored. The women will answer, not by revenge, but by exposure. They will watch everything they built on lies crumble beneath them. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Type Amen to get blessing 141.